Alright, Bant Bow. I was close to playing this deck this weekend, and then after the results of the SCG this past weekend, I've kind of shied away from playing this. Tantrums tries hard. Thanks for the 11-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think this deck is pretty okay against mono red, because we have not only Nullhide Ferox that closes quickly, but Shalai and Lyra here at the top end. I think this deck struggles against both the Command the Dreadhorde deck and the Jeskai Planeswalker deck, though. So hopefully we run into some mono red and we'll be able to do a lot of winning. One thing I'm trying today that I haven't done in the past is that I've got Merfolk Branchwalker and a bunch more Jadelight Rangers here. So I played Paradise Druid and Sloths in similar slots in the past to have more ramps. So I'm interested to see how the Explore package feels. Should add a little bit of consistency to what we have going on. What happens when there are some players in the top 1,000 that are qualified for the month before? I believe it just eats slots out of the system. So I don't have a reference, but if I recall correctly, if you top 1,000 2 months in a row, you just remove a potential for someone to play. So, like, the problem with playing Jund and, like, trying to grind with things like Midnight Reaper is you just can't out-grind the Dreadhorde deck. You just can't. You either have to go way over the top of them with something like Mass Manipulation, have some kind of hate card like Takot Liana Guard or stopping them from gaining life. Look at this beautiful foil Hinterland Harbor in my handful of 7 foils. Good golly. Yeah, I think Rolsalisk is probably just worse on average than some of the alternatives.
I know my responsibility.
I'm gonna plus him for now. I put him playing Mardu here. Put it rank almost 400, around 400 here and playing Mardu, so a bit of a brew here.
Stop that. Now.
Mardu Aristocrats, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and send this back from whence it came.
Might be a bad idea.
Do I want to hold up Frilled Mystic here, or do I want to just play a 6/6? I think I want to just play a 6/6, huh? It's a big beefcake. So they're gonna get to kill 3 free here, but I still have a 6/6, which seems great for me. They could kill my elf, I guess. Deal. Alright, so do I want to hold up Frilled here, I think? Or do I play Shalai? I'm definitely attacking for 6. I think I just want to hold up Frilled Mystic. Let's go. Like, now we have 9 power in play.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Hey, Jeff, yesterday I was jamming Esper Control and my opponent mulled to 3. And when I thought erasured them on 2, they had 2 Nullhides in my hand and I died. So if you ever have a real bad match, I know what it's like. Brutal. I think the green-red Sarkhan deck just has play to it in basically every matchup. I think the green-red Sarkhan deck is just an incredibly well-balanced deck. I definitely want the Baffling Ends here. I think I want to trim Deputy. Well, I guess the question is, how much removal do I expect my opponent to have in post-board? Teferi probably isn't very good here, huh? Like, I know he generates a little bit of okay tempo, but they attack him down and a lot of their stuff is cheap. I think I want the Prison Realms. Arano, thank you for the 11 months. Is the decline of blue-green and Nexus decks leading to the rise of the Dread Horde decks? Yeah, I think so, Mox. And that's kind of how formats work, right? Like, they're cyclical. Like, decks that are poor against certain things, when those decks rotate out, other things can come in. Do I want Knight of Autumn? I don't know, just like gaining just a couple doesn't seem very good, and I don't expect my opponent to really have enchantments. I think on the draw, I'm going to trim a couple of Frilled Mystics and bring in these Prison Realms. Yeah, Narset's down tick isn't very good in this deck because we don't have a lot of non-creature spells for her to find. And past that, the matchups where her static text is good, opponents can't draw extra cards, tend to be good matchups for this deck. So, like, this deck lines up well against, like, Nexus and Grixis, because we have a lot of counter spells and random tricky stuff. As someone who's sitting here holding a Deputy of Detention, like, pretty excited to get a Llanowar Elves Lava Coiled.
Into battle as your champion. I believe in you.
Definitely not in the need of a 6 land here. They could be a Mortify deck, but I still think Prison Realm's probably worth bringing in here. Tajik, sure. The Hinterland Harbor foil was in today's patch. I think if you explicitly are expecting to see a lot of Nexus decks, I would want Cindervines in the sideboard of the green-red Sarkhan deck. That being said, if I play the Sarkhan deck this weekend, I'm probably not playing Cindervines. I'm probably just going to play 4 Barathonons, because the Nexus decks have been on the downtick, and I think the Nexus matchup is still winnable, even without Cindervines. And just like with 4 Legion Warbwash, you can just run them down. Alright, so we're in a pretty good spot here at this point. I get to go ahead and Baffling End this, and then have Frilled Mystic up here. That's awesome, Trax. Like, this spell's not super powerful, but it just, like, beats my Jadelight Ranger, and, like, now I have 6 power in play, which is great. Yeah, one of the things you want to make sure you do with this deck is hold at least 1 land, so you have something to bend to bow. Cindervines is good against Jeskai Friends. Yeah, I think that's true. I think Cindervines is fine there, because they tend to board in enchantment-based removal against you, so I can see that being okay. I don't know, Barathonon is just, like, really important against red aggro. Yeah, but like Interplanar Beacon is gonna get you got regardless. It's gonna gain them life regardless of whether or not you have Cindervine, so like, dealing damage to them is still relevant. Past that, again, they're bringing in enchantment removal, which makes Vines better. You cut Domri and you cut mana creatures against the red deck. If you didn't get a chance to watch us play with Green Red Sarkhan first thing this morning, you're gonna want to go back and watch that if you want to learn about the red matchup. We played the red matchup like 3 or 4 times. How many packs would you say it takes to get most of the cards in the set? About 200 to 250 packs gets you a playset of everything except mythics. And usually it gets you enough mythics that you have the mythics that are playable. You missed Abzan Hero. We played it, I think it was yesterday. I don't remember. As always, if you ever miss a deck, you can find it on my website and my YouTube channel, jeffhoagland.com. The blue deck this morning was cute. We went 2 and 3. I think that's very wrong, Tantrum. I also don't have Tibalt in my deck post-board against Mono Red. I think he's also not very good. I think having a critical mass of things at your top end having a critical mass of things at the top end of your deck to close the game out is very important in the red matchup. You don't want to just put too much 1-for-1 in and then end up spinning your tires. So hopefully we just run off like 3 lands in a row here and just like go this, this, this. If we live to do this, like, be in a pretty good spot. No, light up the stage for you. Oh, that's a good draw. Land, please. Land, please. Ding, ding, ding. Ding-a-ding-ding. I would like to block. So we dealt 4 to ourselves so far, which feels bad. Sure, but that's why you gotta separate your emotions from, like, what's actually correct to do, Tantrum. So, like, I get it. It feels bad to die with 5 drops in your hand, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's wrong to leave them in. Alright, running lands. Running lands. Running lands. Running lands. Come on. Come on, puppy. Come on. Come on. Okay. Alright. Don't go land Chain Whirler. Don't go land Chain Whirler. Don't go land Chain Whirler. Probably did. Buddy land. Buddy land. Buddy land. Buddy land. Scale of 1 to dead. Solidly on the dead side of the scale here. The fact that our first 3 lands were shock lands, just a little bit too rough here. If we were like +4 right now, we'd be in an absurd spot. Piter Stalker, I'd encourage you to, again, go back and watch the past video. I talked about things that we would change and why. Womp womp. It's a bad die roll to lose. I think this card's just a little bit too hard to hold up a lot of the time. I'm going to bring in our cheap interaction and our ways to gain life. This card's really bad against the deck full of 3 damage spells. This card also not great against Chain Whirler. Seems reasonable. Yeah, we either need to be on the play that game, take less damage from our lands, or hit our 5th land on time. You'd like any of those things to break our way. And that's why I kind of got off this deck for the weekend. Like, I think its mono red matchup is, like, slightly favorable, but it's, like, not favorable enough that's just, like, an auto win, which means, like, when you combine that with the fact that it really, this deck tends to struggle against the Dreadhorde deck, I think puts it a little bit too far behind. Because I think this deck's already ahead against red aggro. Yeah, the event this weekend is standard best of 3 constructed on Magic Arena. We're not playing Wildgrowth Walker because I think we're already ahead in these matchups. The matchups where Wildgrowth Walker are good are not the ones where we need help. My next paper event is standard as well, though. The next Nerd Rage tournament is standard. They're having a double standard weekend. Two 5Ks on Saturday, Sunday in June. So technically also looking for a deck for that as well. Gurnee, Illinois, just north of Chicago. It's a 5K NRG CT on Saturday and a $5,000 MCQ on Sunday. I saw a thread on Reddit about someone posting how they were happy with their prizes at their tournament. It was like $3,000 in prizes for a $60 entry fee, and it was like, well, this is like Nerd Rage is doing like 5K in actual cash for a $50 entry fee. So it's like a lot of people are just like so used to getting crap prizes that someone posts something a little bit good and people freak out. Because our deck has more than just Wildgrowth Walker that's good in this matchup, Merja. This, the way this works is you can't just have one single card that's good against the red deck and expect to have a good matchup there, especially against good red players when your good card has 3 toughness. So, like, the Explorer package is much worse against good red players than it is against bad red players, because good red players are going to be able to hold up and maneuver to kill things like that sooner. It might be right to play this or this turn. Starting to activate this for 4 next turn's appealing, though. And, like, if I play this out in game 4, my opponent could just, like, Goblin Chain Whirler me next turn, which makes me sad. So I think I prefer playing around Whirly Boy here. Well, I mean, all good tournament organizers make their money off single sales. That's how it works. Alright, probably gambling here. I kind of hope they play a spell pre-combat, so that way I can try and find a Frilled Mystic to counter plus block. The fact that they have Gitu Lava Runner kind of encourages them to make a play pre-combat, which is nice. No, I think that's pretty wrong, Dude Light. I'm just gonna take this hit here, so that way I can Frilled Mystic this Chain Whirler if I hit it. Like, I might be able to find, like, if I find Nullhide Ferox here, I'm sad. And maybe I only have 2 Frilled Mystics in, so maybe I'm just supposed to do this. paid off. Baffling End. Alright, so I think at this point, I Baffling End plus gain 4. And then next turn, we'll just start activating Bow for 5. Like, this game's a good example. Someone had suggested we cut Bow in this matchup. I think that's a huge mistake. I think you can maybe trim 1, but Bow's the type of card that lets you pull really far ahead in this matchup. It's what allows you to keep up in terms of card quality. It means every draw step is five more draw steps towards Lyra, or towards Shalai, or towards a Nullhide, towards one of our highly impactful cards. Now, you could maybe argue that playing my Knight here is wrong, because Experimental Frenzy is one of their ways to get back in this game. So I could see an argument for just, like, activating Bow this turn. Bow just, like, puts you significantly ahead in any game that goes long. And the way this deck works is you're only winning games against red that go long. So, like, cutting your card that lets you win the long game is not ideal. Prison Realm does hit Chandra and Phoenix, though. In fact, Rekindling Phoenix is why there's Prison Realms in my deck. I'm gonna put another land into play here, because it gives me a 6th look at a Lyra or a Shalai, or a Nullhide Ferox. One big fat angel, please. Opponent playing really well here, killing this before I get to untap, because once I get to untap, I can protect it with Shalai, or a Frilled Mystic off the top. And again, just like, this is such a good example of the Bow, right? Like, every draw, I get 7 draw steps at an impactful creature every turn here. Because I get my draw step for the turn, plus 6 looks with this Bow. Sometimes your elf turns into an elf. Sometimes your elf turns into an elf. Alright, 7 looks. You got 8 looks now. Yeah, you can position Stream Decker at different spots over the overlay. There's, you can't put it wherever you want, but there's a variety of spots you can put it. We did bottom a bunch of not gas. Oh, golly. These new clocks are going to really show me how much slower my opponents are than me. My opponents has 23 minutes on their clock. I have 28 and a half minutes on my clock. That's how much more time they've spent taking game actions in this match so far. Arena always felt faster than Moto, but I would kind of bet. I would be surprised if my opponents aren't still slower than me on average. Yeah, you can always check the clocks by mousing over the timer here. My overlay obscures it a little bit, so you can't see it when I do it, but if you mouse over the hourglass, you can see the current time. Yeah, it's 30 minutes per player for each game, which is just an incredibly long amount of time. To put context into how god-awful long 30 minutes is, in paper Magic, a round is 50 minutes, and in those 50 minutes, you have to sideboard and shuffle manually, and manually tap your lands. So they've giving us more time on Arena than you get in paper. 6/6s are great. Correct. Yeah, there's still an individual action timer, so you can't just like pull a moto and walk away from your computer for 10 minutes. Yeah, I agree. In my opinion, for competitive arena, the clock should ideally be 20 minutes per person. No, sideboarding separate in arena. So you can actually take 64 minutes or more on a match if both players use their whole clock plus 2 minutes sideboarding twice. Bear Grinds Games, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, basically, the only reason the clock exists is to stop Nexus players from taking 3 hours. Yeah, 10 out of 10, Scholar. That would be perfectly fine to cut in. Is this hand a mulligan because my lands hurt me? I'm like, not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed to like hit my 3rd land tier. And I don't have a Llanowar Elf. And like I'm taking at least 2 damage. Like both Nullhide and Shalai are like good cards in the matchup. Yeah, that's the question. Is this better than my average 6? This hand is better. Cash money. Thanks for the biddy, Scholar. I appreciate the support. Welcome, welcome. What are we calling this? Red, white famished walkers. That's great. That lets me curve out. I'm gonna have to shock to do it, but that lets me curve out 3, 4, 5. So like, again, just like the fact that I'm playing a 3-color mana base here makes this awkward, but I think that's a keep. It was okay, Gorks. I think it's worse than... Believe it or not, I think it's worse than the other build that we played, but I think it's probably still fine overall. It's much worse against Elder Spell. Believe it or not. Huh? Playing this is really bad if they have a Rekindling Phoenix. So I think I just do this. And then if they attack, I'm gonna block, because if they have a burn spell, it takes their whole turn to burn through the Nullhide, and getting a burn spell spent on the Nullhide means they're less likely to have one for Lyra.
I knew you needed my help. Let's light it up.
Looking for a higher impact card than that. Bows, Shalais, more Nullhides, more removal. Foil Hinterland Harbor no longer a great shame. Alright, do you have 2 burn spells to beat me? Oh, don't Whirler Lava Coil me. Oh, no. Oh, that's so brutal. Like I said, I think we're a little bit ahead there, but not nearly enough to call it a guarantee by any means. Hand's okay. Looking for some more lands. Branchwalker hopefully helps in that department. Nah, that's probably an overassumption, Penguin. I think there's more people playing serious decks than previously, though. This is like I think we've played against like 50% mono red so far. Which is like way, way different than what we've been playing in the past weeks. That actually hasn't been my experience, Dan B. And obviously, like, what I'm telling you is anecdotal, but in my experience, the ladder has an incredible number of control decks on it, especially Grixis and Jeskai. In the time spent leading up to this event, there's been way more control and mid-range on the ladder than not. I know that people like to pair it like the aggro is just like all over the ladder. It's the only thing people play, but that's not been my experience playing a very significant amount of the arena ladder, especially this season. Buddy land. Perfect. All right, survey says. That's not really true though, Stan B MTG. And I'm telling you that one, you shouldn't make strong claims either way because you don't have objective data to work with. You're just talking about your feelings. And I'm telling you that my anecdotal evidence from playing lots of Magic is that there is not a lot of red on the ladder. At least not on the best of 3 ladder. You could also make the argument that best of people who really care about that time factor that you're trying to push, that like it's you play fast and that's why people are playing it, that those people who really care about brutally fast games, they're playing red in best of 1, they're not playing best of 3. We have some minimal changes from Monday's list. I agree that I did not run well on Monday, but I also think that this deck is kind of medium in general in the format. I don't have double green, so it's not worth it to do that because it's not a legal play. Lord Moly Pans, thank you for the half of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
You want to play with fire, huh? There's no problem fire can't solve.
So maybe a double green would have worth it. Probably not because of the potential for Goblin Chain Whirler.
Sit back and watch it burn.
Hey, Otter. Thanks for continuing your sub gift. Welcome back. No, I'm not playing this deck this weekend. Remember, chat, at the end of the day, even when I have a tournament coming up, tournaments don't pay my bills. The deck queue pays my bills. You all watching pays my bills. So, like, this deck just happens to be at the top of the deck queue. So, like, I bumped Black-Red Aristocrats back up into today because I want to play that's the deck I'm considering for this weekend, but I'm still, like, I'm not just going to, like, stop playing decks from the deck queue. The deck queue is long and full of terrors. Can't just, like, straight up stop playing from it. My short list for this weekend is Green-Red Sarkhan and Black-Red Aristocrats. Yeah, Shalai would have been an ideal draw there. But alas, we are not living in an ideal world. Yeah, I've liked the Aristocrats archetype a lot.
I don't need this.
Wait. Is that really how that works? I thought this couldn't deal damage more than... I thought this could only deal 7, right? Is that bugged? No, I was at 11. Wow, that's a huge bug for this weekend. That is a huge bug for this weekend. That worked. I'm pretty sure that worked correctly before. Like, that's a really big deal. Like, a quarter or more of the field is going to be playing this card this weekend. You're only supposed to take damage from Chandra equal to the number of loyalty that she has. So even though I attacked Chandra for 10, I'm only supposed to take 7 there. Alright, so I'm gonna hope my opponent draws a brick here and just try and 2-turn clock them. So I should be at 4 right now. So if I die to a lightning strike or a shock or a wizard's lightning, I should have won this game. Alright, well this was gonna draw them cards regardless. I should be +3 right now. Gosh, how does this isn't lethal if the card's not bugged. I mean, according to how it worked on Magic Arena before this patch, that's a bug. Like, it worked correctly before this patch. So, like, I'm not guaranteed to win that game. Obviously, they have a blocker and I get another draw step, but, like, I wouldn't have died to that attacker if Chandra wasn't bugged. Ooh, that's a good draw. All right, hold on. I gotta give that clip to my social media manager so she can tweet it at Rena. So I think I'm at a high enough life total that I just play this and pass. Like, I think I want to hold on to this in the event that, they have an enchantment.
Enjoy the more, the messier. My assistants are painfully slow.
I'm the best fire starter there is. This is just gonna be bad for you.
So I could try and get Shalai in response here, but I'd rather they don't know Shalai is coming. I also want a chance to get Frilled Mystic next turn.
Let's light it up.
Yeah, really, really happy I didn't activate this in response with the Lava Coil getting exiled there. Sure. All right, one Shillelagh, please. Oh, never lucky. Frilled Mystic. If I hit Frilled Mystic or Shalai there, we just like won the game on the spot.
I'll see myself out.
Hey, Platinum Otter. Thanks for the sub gifties. I appreciate that. Welcome to our new members of Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around.
Oh, it's you burning.
Oh. Bant's been all right. We lost last game due to a bug, an arena bug, which is pretty frustrating. Now this is a viewer submitted deck list. I'm not playing this deck this weekend, which is unfortunate too, because like we're finally back in the top 1,000, and like if we're gonna play more good decks later today and tomorrow, like we probably could have solidified a top 1,000 spot for the month. So, like, losing this match to a bug feels real bad. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to hold the Arkbow activation here and try to hit Shalai in response. Yeah, I think I'm not supposed to play the Lyra. I think I'm not supposed to play the Lyra there. Hey, well, I appreciate it, Otter. Hope your Thursday is going well. Alright, 7 looks at a second Lyra. Can we get a little bit of run good here? Nope, never. I guess it's worth noting too. If I would have bowed in the other way, like if I would have bowed in response to the Chandra down tick, I'd have been +7. Yeah, maybe. That's a frustrating experience. Losing a close game 2 to a new client bug, and then getting pretty unlucky in the 3rd game. That's just how it goes. Did we just lose to the red deck twice? Yeah, I'm gonna play one more with this, but I think I'm pretty off this deck. Just too much red, especially with Lyra being bugged. Like this deck this deck can't take a Chandra off the table without attacking a lot of the time. So like the Chandra bug makes you significantly worse against the red deck. I guess my opponent's gonna play a basic mountain on one and we just can't win. Okay, dodge the basic mountain, got that going for us. Yeah, you need to be in the top 1,000 at the very end of the season to get the bonuses. This is good. Hopefully this is Jeskai or Esper friends and we can get a feel for this deck against those. I think if you enjoy the play patterns of this deck, it's more than fine. Just not something that I would travel to play in for a tournament that I really cared about.
Keep an open mind.
Hey, Forgotten Glory, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back.
Hone your prowess.
Yeah, before this patch, it didn't do that. Hits Leo. Zephyr, thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. There's a new bug in today's patch, from my understanding. That definitely worked correctly previously. And this is just like the amount of tempo loss that you have. So like you're not a slam dunk against red, you're a little bit ahead, but not by a lot. And then like in these matchups, their planeswalkers just like tempo you out of the game. You just can't keep up. And like now my Frilled Mystic doesn't have text because there's a Teferi time Raveler here. Yeah, I don't know. If Bantu gives you a ton of reach, you probably have a big board. And if you have a big board, you're probably winning anyways. At least that's been my experience with it. Yeah, if you're playing to win right now, you definitely want to be registering 19 to 20 basic mountains. 10 out of 10 the best deck in the format, and it's not particularly close.
I have a plan.
So this is getting shocked. Spark double.
You show remorse, I'll show restraint.
Alrighty then. No, not at all. The red deck's just the best aggressive deck in the format. So, if you ask me for what I think the 3 best decks are right now, it's definitely the Jeskai Planeswalker deck that we're playing against right now, the red aggressive deck, and the Command the Dreadhorde deck. Yeah, I don't know that you can include. I think the Gruul deck's really good, but I don't think you can include it in the top 3 or 4 just based on the numbers. I think the Gruul deck is very reasonable, but like I think calling it one of the better decks in the format is just like not true just by the numbers. Yeah, we're very dead here. Alright, I got a couple of Immortal Sun. Let's try this one out and see how it goes. We don't have objective data on that, Lord Mollypants. We don't know what the proportion of people that play things in paper or on Arena. We don't have metrics for either of those that are good, clean, and objective. I'm a big proponent of not using incomplete data to push narratives, so anyone pushing a narrative about like what the meta looks like anywhere is just kind of making stuff up and pulling it out of their butt. They're trying to extrapolate anecdotal evidence to be representative of the entire platform, and we just don't have that. I actually think one of the reasons the Gruul deck is good Android is because it's good against the decks full of discard spells and removal spells. The Gruul Sarkhan deck is very good against the heavily interactive decks. Poor little elf. At least we drew another green source so we can play this next turn after this dies still. I don't know, people just want to talk about statistics to like feel smart, and like people just want validation for their choices, right? Like people look to extrapolate things that they can't reasonably extrapolate from these sample sizes for the same reason that you see people come into Twitch streams and ask, is this the best deck? What do you think is the best deck? They just want a third party to tell them that their deck choice is a smart choice. Had to get the last Rekindling Phoenix because I've been enjoying Green Circuit and Black Red Aristocrats decks so much. Thanks for the competitive lists that aren't the same old, same old. Thanks for the bits, 10. I appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying them. Sure, and if you hear what I was saying earlier, Wesselbos, and you actually listen to the words that come out of my mouth, you heard me talk about this. You heard me say the words, this is anecdotal. And you heard me say things like, this could mean that it's more representative of what's going on tomorrow. I don't speak in absolutes, because you can't talk in absolutes about it. You just don't know. Fact. Fuck off. One of my huge pet peeves is people that like to try and make me sound dumb by putting words in my mouth that I didn't say. I'm very careful when I choose my words. Don't tell me that I implied something that I didn't say, because I didn't say that and there's a reason why I didn't say it.
I am not going to sit this one.
Good golly, this spark double has just been backbreaking. Both games of just like this into this, just like tempoing us back into the Stone Age has been really rough.
Don't worry, I got this. Here goes nothing.
Yeah, it actually comes in with one extra loyalty, which is tough.
I train at a thoughtfulness before action.
Well, I at least have 3 free here. I at least have 3 free here to bounce the Vault token.
I was not prepared for this.
They missed a land drop, right? So they don't guarantee to have Circuit next turn at least. So we got that going for us. They could, however, pay to unlock my Nullhide, then bounce both my creatures. I'm just trying stuff, Smooch. The previous iterations full of Grazers and Paradise Druids did not feel good against the Command the Dreadhorde and Jeskai Planeswalker decks, so I'm trying decks that have more attackers in them. Because more things with power and toughness makes you better theoretically against these cards. Because you want to be able to pressure their Planeswalkers off the table. This is a Spark Double. For people wondering how there's another Teferi here.
Trust me, I have a plan.
So they could bounce this, draw another card, play this, or another 3-mana walker.
Let's slow this down.
I'm all alone, there's no one here beside me. Do 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 do. Little Teferi, legal till October 2020. We do have 2 Immortal Suns in our deck. Yeah, I agree, Be Rich. Just want all my things that can attack and block.
That's more like it. I've got it.
Yeah, I mean, like, they haven't done anything, like, super meaningful so far this game, right? Like, it's been annoying,
My friend.
but it's, like, not the end of the world.
I have practiced meditate.
The problem is, like, they're gonna stick a Sark in and then just, like, run away with things, yeah.
Trust me. You'll thank me later. Here we go.
Can't draw an extra card because of Narset. I think I kill Narset because it digs them to an Immortal Sun answer. Or do I kill Tibalt because it blocks? I think I kill Narset because it digs them to an Immortal Sun answer.
I have a
Cage World, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I do have enough mana to cast Sun through Nullhide.
I adore an audience. This might be a bad idea. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
I do not have enough, however, to Immortal Sun through Nullhide with Spell Pierce. No, the Immortal Sun's not super commonly played. And in large part, it's not commonly played because the decks that might want Immortal Sun want Planeswalkers more. That's true. If they don't kill my Teferi, they can't Spell Pierce me. But, like, if they have Spell Pierce, chat, they can play this and kill my Teferi. So, like, if they have Spell Pierce, they're going to be able to Spell Pierce this Immortal Sun. This has Summoning Sickness. I bounced their token last turn. The pulsating is a little bit small. Alright, is the Immortal Sun just gonna drag us kicking and screaming back from the brink? It basically says their deck stops working, right? I have to pay 2 extra for my Nullhide Ferox, chat. Immortal Sun costs 8 while Nullhide's in play.
Who are you to call me mad? Come to me.
Yeah, it's very situational, Crazy Chimp. We actually didn't play against many Planeswalker decks with the green-red deck. We mostly played against red aggro. Forgot to plus this. Was so excited to slam this. Forgot to plus this. I just assume they can't take this off the table and attack them, right? Is that the line? I think the line is assume they can't take this off the table and attack them.
Come on, listen to them roar.
The sun does not turn off the static abilities. Alright. Maybe if you play this deck, you just put 3 Immortal Sun on the sideboard. Maybe if you're playing this deck, you just put 3 Immortal Sun on the sideboard and just, like, flip it YOLO. Mad Shatters, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. It doesn't help the Dreadhorde matchup. Sure, you're gonna have a bad matchup somewhere. Unfortunately, this is a white deck that can't afford to play Tocatli Honor Guard to combat the Dreadhorde deck. You've got a bunch of Explorer creatures and Frilled Mystics and Deputies, so, and Knights of Autumn. You're not a land drop. Things I want to hit. My next 4 land drops, please. I mean, if they Teferi bounce my Merfolk Branchwalker, it gives me another redraw to land, which sounds excellent. They probably boarded in Spell Pierce and Veto for this last game, huh? If they can't take it off the table, they have to counter it. They have to counter it or kill us before we get to it.
I'm known for my excellent timing. I've got time.
Lands, please. Explore creatures, please.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Well, I mean, Arkbow kind of cares about the bounce. Like, to a degree, Arkbow does really care. If we miss a land drop here and they curve into Sorkin, we're very dead. Now, I think if you want a hate card in the green-red Sorkin deck, you just want to play Tibalt. Tibalt is the hate card you're looking for. I chose life over counters because I felt my opponent was incredibly likely to play Teferi and bounce my knight. So by choosing life, I got to gain value.
I've got it. The more, the messier.
Spark double on Little Tef is just so unreasonably rude. I'm gonna concede if we miss on a land. Alright. We play on. We're not excited about it, but we play on. Yeah, Vivien's Arkbow only hits creatures, that is correct.
That's more like it. I'll protect you.
I think there's a 3-mana Teferi in play, so holding up Veto is probably immensely bad. In fact, I think there's 2 3-mana Teferis in play. So holding... Oh, no! Oh, no! What kind of sweet hell is this? Oh, no! Oh, I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Do, 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 do. Can I concede now? I'm gonna concede now. Bant Bow, I really love you, and I want you to know that this hurts me more than it hurts you.